How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And before we even get started, I want to make sure I get this question answered. If you're just now joining, we need to donate to Patreon to vote. No. This is for everybody. Everybody. You don't even have to watch this live. You can vote later on. I'm just going to show you how. We're going to kick it off live like we did the Marvel Omnibus reprint poll. It's just more exciting this way. And oh my God, I'm feeling so much better compared to the Marvel Omnibus reprint poll where I was miserable, but I still did it because I'm a man of my word. But yes, this is anybody can vote. You don't need to be on Patreon. Of course, it does help. But thank you all so much that are on Patreon. But you can vote as long as you have an email, you're subscribed to the channel, and you smash that like button. I'm going to show you all how to vote here in a little bit. But before I do, and before we get started looking at the list of out-of-print books, I do want to introduce my co-host for today. To the right-hand side is the gentleman that put all the slideshow together, so you all can thank him and yell at him if something is wrong. This is Taylor Talks Comics. What's up, man? Who are you? Tell me about yourself.
I'm confident the slides are going to look good. I even just went through them just now and edited them a little bit to make sure that they look pretty. But my name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics. I have my own YouTube channel, which you can imagine is called Taylor Talks Comics. I'm also the Near Mint Condition social media guy. So if you ever talk to Near Mint Condition on social media, I'm the guy you talk to. I usually use SMG as my sign off there for social media guy.
No, only Ryan has to donate $100 to vote. Otherwise, his vote does not count. Welcome to the worst YouTube channel in the world. I beg to differ. I have 5 others that are worse than I. Taylor Talks Comics. This is a YouTube link if you want to go and check them out.
Thank you, James. And everybody, please subscribe.
What are these nasty books behind Curtis? Oh, wait, I added that word in there. Curtis, who are you, buddy? Tell people about yourself in case they're new here.
Yeah, you bet. I am, before the live stream went live, Taylor called me the Prime Minister of Epic Collections.
Yes.
So there we are. That's who I am. And I run the Epic Marvel podcast, which hasn't had an episode in quite a while, but I am very active online, just doing my parts to make sure that everyone knows that Epic Collections are the best. And that, yeah, we should be voting for them for our reprints. And so another thing that came up before the live stream started is that there were 500 votes on the Omnibus reprint poll that just happened. And we want to beat that. We want more than 500 votes to show that there are more Epic Collection fans than there are Omnibus fans. So please get out there and vote, even if you didn't previously have an intention to.
Well, you need more than 500 people in the chat. So we're at 152 right now. Curtis, you need to do your job spreading the word, buddy.
Oh yeah, we will, and the people will watch this throughout the week, and we'll be spreading the word online and whatnot. So
yeah, you don't have to be here live to vote. You can vote later on. I will be putting the link to where you can vote while we're live. So not right now, just while we're while we go live. I will let you know when to vote. I'm going to show you how to vote. And then I'll make the link live. So no, you don't need to be on Patreon. You could just be here having a good time. This is open to everybody, just like last year and the year before that. Go ahead, Curtis. I'm sorry.
If you are on Patreon, do your votes count for like 2 votes?
Don't give me ideas. No, they don't. Don't give me ideas. Why would you say that? No, I don't think I'll ever do that. They can have access to like the full list, and there's a lot of perks there. But counting 2 votes, that's like buying a vote, right? I don't like the sound of that. It happens, but not here. Look at you, Canadian, giving me little tidbits like that. I don't know, Curtis. I may have to think about that one.
That's how he operates his government as Prime Minister of the Epicureans.
Yeah. I learned so much from watching American television.
Yeah. Keep blaming America, buddy. This was all your idea. Bring the Leader Lives. There's so many that are out of print. So before we go and click on the link that you all can go and vote, we're going to go through the list of books that are out of print. And again, a big thank you to Taylor Talks Comics for putting the slideshow together. A big thank you to James for putting the Google Doc together that I will be sharing later on. And if you're new here, I'm sorry. I think I put the wrong description in the chat. Maybe that's what confused people. This will go all the way until next Friday, end of business day. So you've got a little bit to vote. in case you're like, oh man, I didn't catch it, I missed it. And I'm gonna probably do a short again to show people how to vote. But this will be open until March 15th, the Ides of March, right? March 15th, end of business day, like midnight Eastern Standard Time. So it gives you over a week to vote, and then we'll gather up all the votes by the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and I will announce everything on the 20th, kind of like I did with the Marvel Omnibus reprint poll. So just in case.
And then you pass it along to Marvel.
Well, I pass it along to Marvel long before I make that video. David is always the first one to see the list because he honestly is just as excited to see these as you all are. It makes his job easier choosing reprints, right? He's like, oh, where's that list? So yeah, I sent the list of Marvel Omnis on his birthday. He was off that week, and he was like, no, send them to me because I won't get them. Just send them to me now. He was excited to see them. So,
which I said this during the Omnibus one, and I just thought to reiterate how cool it is that we have the opportunity to vote on this, and that the publisher actually listens. Like the fact that it's even like one of the biggest publishers too, but we don't have that opportunity as fans and readers a lot of times. I mean, for so many years we're left in the dark. Like, man, I hope this book comes back into print, or I'm trying to find this book. But now they actually listen to us and follow the list. I mean, how many were pre-printed last year? Was it the whole list?
Not quite the whole list, but
Close
vast
to it.
Majority of them.
Yeah,
I want to say I gave him. I remember giving him 25 last year, and I'll probably do the same this year too. But
I know that all of the top 10 for sure were done, and then I think they missed the Star Wars ones because they have their own ideas for Star Wars reprints, and there's just I think one or two others that didn't make
which as a collector, like to have. Just like knowing that they'll come back into print eventually, it's such a comforting thing. You don't have to like overpay for anything, and you can just wait for it. You know, like, all right, that one's going for like 60, 80 bucks on eBay, but I can just wait. Maybe I can vote for it next year. Such a cool thing.
Very cool.
I think it's really cool. And if anybody knows anything like this in video game vinyls that people can go and vote for reprints of video game vinyls, please let me know, because I'm looking for that Chrono Trigger box set, and I ain't gonna pay $2,000 for that American money.
Oh,
that's insane. I love Chrono Trigger. I love that soundtrack, but that box set is ridiculous. Okay, so if you're now joining again, for the people in the back or just now trickling in, we're gonna show the books that are out of print. After that, I'm gonna show you how to vote, and I will turn on the voting link while we're watching here. So I'll let you know when to refresh YouTube. Once you refresh YouTube, you can go and vote, and I'm gonna hopefully, if I get the link right, show what's winning and what isn't winning, because I forgot to ask for that link, the editing link. It's just vinyl, not vinyl. Oh, the plural vinyl is vinyl? Man,
oh, yeah.
It's like anime all over again.
Vinyl collectors are real anal about that, so be careful.
Am I going to get beat up by a bunch of vinyl collectors?
You might.
Okay, bring them. I already have to deal with Epicurean heads or whatever the hell Curtis calls his people.
Epicure heads.
All right, let's go ahead. Thank you so much, Dakota. I will never say vinyls again. I will now say vinyl, video game vinyl, plural. But wait a minute. How do people know I'm talking about more than one vinyl?
It's just like beer.
People are talking about more than one fish.
The plural fish is fishes.
I think that was changed actually officially. It was fishes.
All right.
Maybe in America.
Oh, and then there's 7 Apollo. I'm a vinyl collector, and I really don't care. The plural vinyl is Vinny. Okay, I'm not reading any more of that. Brian, what's up? Okay, everybody.
Yeah, this is like Omniboo all over again.
Vinyl boo.
I'm not starting that argument again. David got the final say on that. So, okay, here we go. Kicking off the Epic Collection reprint poll this year. Amazing Spider-Man. Here are all the books from the Epic Collections that are out of print for Spidey. So we have Great Power, Spider-Man No. Oh my gosh, Great Power is out of print again? Goblin's Last Stand, Man Wolf and Midnight, Venom, Volume 18, and the Cosmic. Curtis, wasn't there a reprint of Cosmic Adventures?
But it was a couple years ago at this point. So it's gone again.
Time just flies.
I should note too on the slides here that year that you're seeing after it is the date of the last printing of these volumes. So you get to see like how long it's been since these have been printed.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was pre-pandemic that Cosmic Adventures came out.
Yeah, so it doesn't show you how many times they've been printed. I think Curtis is usually has a tip on how many times they've been printed. But the year of
This
the
was
last
the last
printing.
printing.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man No More was 2022. Goblins Last Dance 2021. Wow. I just remember Curtis and I announcing most of these books. It's just crazy how fast time goes by.
I know, right?
Volume 1's supposed to be evergreen. That was the original idea, but they kind of no, they've tried, right? Because Hulk Volume 1 got reprinted, and that wasn't on our list. Or was it
That
Captain
was a question I
America?
was going to have for you too, since you guys know this stuff. Have they reprinted things outside of the list also in the last couple of years?
Yes, a
Okay.
couple of things.
So I know they do that with Omnibus. I didn't know how often that was for Epics also.
Like, there was a Star Wars book from the last batch of announcements, or maybe the previous batch that was printed that wasn't on our list.
Okay.
And I want to say Incredible Hulk Volume 1, correct?
That one's
Curtis?
coming up soon.
But
In a couple of months,
that wasn't on
it wasn't
our
on our
list.
list, no. But that one, I mean, it's volume 1, and I'm sure if it's being remaster worked, then I bet we'll get the new files for that one in this upcoming printing as well. Now they have also done just second printings, not second editions. And here's where the difference is: the second editions are when you get a new ISBN and they have to be resolicited, which is most of the reprints that we
Most of the
see.
reprints, yeah.
But some of them just get second printings, which means they just go back to the printer and say, "Hey, can you run a bunch more copies for us?" And they did that earlier this year with Maximum Carnage and X-Men Legacies, and those didn't get solicited. They just got
No, they
restocked.
just kind of showed up.
Yep.
And I will say, when I open up the polls, I'm going to say this again. I stressed this when I did the Omnibus reprint poll. Vote for what you want.
Yes.
Don't get pressured into voting for things that other people want, or people. I am a collector. I understand the mentality of wanting things now. So vote for the books that you want now. Hey, Maddie, how you doing? I can't wait for Mutant Massacre.
We should also say that we made this list to the best of our ability.
Oh yes, thank you, Curtis. Yes, good point.
Don't listen to my what? All right, go ahead, Curtis. Or what were you saying, buddy?
We made this list to the best of our ability. We don't have all of the information, like access to stock levels and that kind of stuff. And so this is a combination of taking a look at what's available through Diamond or what's available through Amazon online and that kind of stuff. And we took out the upcoming reprints, of course. So this is pretty much the stuff minus the books that we know are readily available through some channels. And that might mean that, In Stock Trades doesn't have the book that you want, so you want it reprinted, but you could probably get it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I come through the list of all of the epics backwards and forwards. So this is a good opportunity too, before the poll goes live. If you notice any,
yes, please let us know
issues with the poll or books that you think should be listed or whatnot, let us know, because we can still edit it up until the time that it goes live.
Maybe.
Oh, sorry. We could try to edit it.
I'm waiting on that link.
Potentially, we'll do our best to edit it.
Joe, how you doing, buddy? Since I don't collect epics, my votes are for sale. All right, Ryan. All right, you're booted. Ryan's the moderator, and he just got booted. Okay, so these are the Spidey books.
There are a lot of comments saying Life Theft, Amazing Spider-Man Life Theft needs to be added to the list.
I'm gonna go ahead and start
maybe
a list of books I will add. Give me a second.
I'm gonna check that.
Life Theft. I told Omar my goal is to have 0 needed to be edited. So
no, you're good. You're good. It happens, and I want to be as thorough as possible. So if people are saying Life that's out of print, I don't have time right now to talk to my contacts, but I did write it down to add later if it is in debt. Indeed, not in debt, out of print. So thank you all so much. Brian is keeping count of the strikes. Thank you, Brian.
Oh no, I get strikes now. Okay.
Is that your wife, Taylor? Keeping count of the strikes. I love that. Avengers, holy moly, that's a lot of Avengers. Once an Avenger, Masters of Evil, Behold the Vision, A Traitor Stalks Among Us, Kang War, Final Threat out of print again, Under Siege, Heavy Metal, Acts of Vengeance, Fear the Reaper, The Gatherer Strike. Behold the Vision is the one that's been out of print the longest, huh? Volume 4?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's one of the earliest Avengers books. I think that was the second one released, I think.
It's a Final Threat. I want to say the first one.
Yeah, Final Threat was the first one.
Yeah. So that might have, yeah, it's right around that time. Because if these started in 2013, yeah, you're probably right. It's around that one of the first earlier ones. And Heavy Metal, Under Siege. Under Siege has been out of print since 2016. That's crazy. So these are all of the Avengers books. So, keep tabs on what you want to vote for.
I just checked a couple retailers, and it does look like Life Theft should be on the list.
Okay, I'll add it to the list as soon as I can.
Strike one.
So make sure to hold on to your votes if you are wanting to vote for Life Threat or Final Threat. First printing was December 2013.
Yeah, that would make that the first Avengers.
That was the first one. Yeah.
That was yep.
All right. And let's keep on going because we got a lot of books. West Coast Avengers or Avengers West Coast. Volumes 1, 3, 4, and 5. These were coming out in chronological order, correct, Curtis?
That's right.
Yeah, and I was collecting these a few years back, and all of these were in print except for Volume 2. So then Volume 2 was voted on last year's poll, and we got it reprinted, and now all of these are out of print. So it's kind of funny how that
works.
And
Volume 1 has been reprinted before. The first printing was, or the first edition was a quad book, and so the second edition got a nice upgrade. And yeah, now it's out of stock again, but it's a Volume 1, so that's pretty good.
I will say too, one thing I noticed while I was putting this together was that there's a lot of like chunks of like 4 or 5 volumes in succession that are all out of print, and it just shows me that there's a really good health to this line, that people are really collecting it and complete all these different lines that they have, because it'll be like volumes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all out of print, and it's like you could tell people are collecting like the whole thing, which is great.
Okay. Really quick, quad books were printed in Versailles, Kentucky, and Curtis hates Kentucky and claimed that they were the worst printed books ever, and he started this whole uproar online, and there were death threats and
we should start calling those Kentucky books instead of quad.
Yeah, and now quad sold out. Used to be World Color, used to be Rand McNally, and now they're known as the Sheridan Printer, who print oversized hardcovers for Marvel Comics. What you got to say about that, Curtis?
They certainly clean up their act, that's for sure. Nothing good usually comes out of Kentucky.
Yikes! All right, I'll take all my bourbon back. Look at this. What is this nonsense?
Oh, look at that.
What are you, Canadian?
I like how you said it. They went to oversized hardcovers. Like they're like, those trade paperback collectors are too picky. We're going to
they were like, we're done. Under a new management, they went straight hardcovers. Okay, Black Panther. Volume 1 and Volume 2, Panther's Rage and Revenge of the Black Panther. Only one printing, right, Curtis, for each one of these?
None of these have been reprinted. No, Black Panther 2 has. That one didn't come out.
Oh no, that was an old one.
That one was reprinted.
Was that the first Black Panther Epic Collection, and then they reprinted it? I can't remember if they.
Yeah, it looks like the second one was printed in 2019 and 2021.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Black Panther 2 has had a reprint, but it's out of stock again because of that Jack Kirby goodness.
I know, that's the only way to get that Jack Kirby run on Black Panther. That's still like kept in print regularly. I guess they might have done old collections, but no omnibus is my point.
Of Jack Kirby?
Of that Jack Kirby Black Panther run. Because it would be.
Oh, that's right. They got rid of Don McGregor, and they were like, "Hey, check, the King's coming back." See you, Don.
It'd be early years Volume 2, hopefully one day in omnibus. But they also took off the Volume 1 on that first one. But that's another story.
Got it.
Right.
If it did, it's not really we're gonna have that discussion a bit. Black Widow. Not many of these, but introducing her modern line might mean that maybe people missed out on these.
Oh, that's an important note too. There are no modern collections currently out of print, so no modern epics will be on the poll. But next year, I'm assuming we'll probably see modern epics hit the poll.
They're still babies. They're still babies.
Yeah. Well, I thought Spider-Gwen might have been, but I think, did they do like a stealth restock of that one?
I believe Volume 1 did have a restock.
Yeah, because that one was the first one, and I thought it went out of print for a little bit, but
Beware the
We're
Black
out of stock.
Widow and the Coldest War, both volumes 1 and 2 of the classic Black Widow epic collections are both out of print.
Which are the only 2 Black Widow classic epics.
Yeah.
Both of them.
After that, you jump right to the modern age. I'm curious what's out of print for Cap. Oh my gosh. All right. Captain America Lives Again, Coming of the Falcon, The Secret Empire, Monsters and Men, Sturm und Drang. Yeah, sure, that's how it's pronounced. Curtis, how would you pronounce that?
Sturm und Drang, I think. But
Wrong. I like that.
Drang.
Society of
I think,
Serpents,
yeah.
Justice is Served, Blood and Glory, Man Without Country. Man Without
Well,
Country, that's got to be one of Society of Serpents, actually.
So when we made this list, we had announced a reprint of Superior Stratagem, but Marvel has taken that off the schedule and bumped it. So I assume it's still coming. It's gonna be early 2025.
Yeah,
I mean, we
think
could put that back on the list, but I don't think we need to.
Okay. I would hate for them to forget it, and then it doesn't come back until 2026.
Could you add a note to your email to David? Or
I'll add a note to remind him about that book in case he sends me a list of epics and that's not on there. What was it again, Curtis?
Superior Stratagem.
Okay.
Here's another good chunk. You have volumes 10 through 13 are all out of print.
Yeah, that's a majority of the J.M. DeMatteis run in the beginning of the Mark Grunwald stuff.
Oh, so that the beginning of Mark Grunwald, that'll be an omnibus later this year. So,
but this has the Mike Zeck artwork in there too. I'd cry. Okay, I will ask. I promise. How many Cap epics to complete Grunwald's run?
0. We have the entire thing reprinted now. It's
all
all there.
I thought he was asking how many in total.
Like how many volumes makes up the Grunwald?
Oh, how many in totals?
Maybe I'm misreading that.
You gotta count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 volumes.
10. Wow.
Well, that's why I said it might be like 4 Omnis. It's a big collection. Daredevil. This guy got a lot of love last year. Let's see how well he did this year. So all that's left is Take My Hand, Heart of Darkness, Dead Man's Hand, Purgatory in Paradise, and Widow's Kiss. Seems like Daredevil has been in reprint for a while. Like a lot of the books run out of print. We're able to get Marvel to reprint them.
He had a tremendous year of reprints this last year.
Yeah.
Hope Captain America Man Without Country comes back, and I love Mark Waid and Ron Garney run of Cap. Yeah, that, no pun intended, caps off the era of Marvel right before the Heroes Reborn.
And Daredevil is one of the characters that is almost complete in epics. I think we're only missing the Frank Miller run at this point, right?
That's right. Yep, just a few more to go.
So. Is there did we have all the
the Dennis O'Neill? No, we still need the Dennis O'Neill stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's say there's only Daredevil and 4 and Captain America, I think, are ones that are almost, and Fantastic Four, I think, are all almost nearly.
FF, really? Wow.
No, FF is getting closer, but it still needs
Burn, and Burn's gonna have like at least 4 or maybe 3.
Yeah. I know they're still missing like the Burn run of FF. Thor's missing Simonson, and Daredevil's missing Miller, and maybe a few others on top of that. But like they're just missing those big runs.
Thor's missing 4, but Daredevil's Captain America's only missing 2 volumes.
Oh, so Captain America's might be the first one to be complete.
Thor's got all the Simonson stuff.
Heroes Reborn
to be epics, right? 3 epics, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm waiting.
I love the Waid Garney Cap, but remember that omnibus of Waid and Garney also had a printing error, right? Like it was, you have to glue your own spine. So I hope they reprint it one day. The first half of Stern Avengers isn't collected. Are we doing a new Omni reprint poll? Omar didn't catch those fake accounts putting Tomb and Dracula up so high. There were no fake accounts. All the fake accounts got booted. Let's go with Defenders. Oh man, here's one we haven't announced for a while, right, Curtis? When's the last Defenders epic we announced?
Oh, we had just volume 2 coming out soon, or came out recently.
Yeah, the volume 2 is coming out in May, I believe.
Okay. So we have
coming out in June.
Volume 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's right, because they started with like the last part of Defenders, unlike the Masterworks. Pretty smart move. You got the Masterworks going, and then you have the tail end in epic format.
And the Omnibus is that too, because the Omnibus we got Volume 1 and 2, which take place before this.
This is all of the Defenders volumes except for Volume 1.
Yeah,
they're all out of stock.
So all the stuff that they were originally releasing.
And there's some J.M. DeMatteis material in this era too, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's all J.M. DeMatteis.
Oh, all 4 of these?
I believe so.
The Six-Fingered Hand saga is?
Six-Fingered Hand is, that's where his run starts. Ashes to Ashes. And then does he do the new Avengers, Defenders, or does I can't remember now if that, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Let me just I knew he had a big chunk in here. I didn't know if he did all 4.
Yeah. Oh, Peter Gillis takes over after. That's right.
Okay. I think Peter Gillis at the end of all songs, right?
Yeah, yeah, but Peter Gillis takes over in the middle of this volume.
Volume 6, 7, and 8 collect the DeMatteis run.
Yeah,
right. It's a good run. I like this era of New Avenger or the Defenders. Somebody said we need the new Defenders. I agree, or the Secret Defenders. That would be fun.
Oh yeah,
that was a fun era too.
Yeah. Would that be a potential Volume 10?
I mean, it could be.
It could be if they don't want to skip anything, right? Yeah. And go straight to a Volume 10. I don't think I would rebrand it as New Defender or Secret Defenders. And just put Deadpool.
And before that, there's an annual crossover story, The Return of the Defenders. So they could do that. And Eric Larson had a Defenders run in the 90s.
Oh yeah, I would love for that to be collected.
Really?
I
have a funny story about that. That was. I'll save it. They might change.
Is Larson on the artwork?
Yeah.
Well, that's all I care about.
Well, not all of it, but he did write it. Yeah, and honestly, it's one that no one talks about.
I've not read it. I just know I like Larson's artwork, so I'd like to read it. Is it bad?
No. I just know a story about it, and I'm like, they might change their mind, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Strange. Speaking of Doctor Strange and the Defenders, Volume 1 is out of print again. Alone Against Eternity and Afterlife.
I feel like that Volume 1 should be evergreen. I know we just talked about that, but like that's like all of the Ditko run. Like that should be.
Yeah, it's really interesting that run, like it's the Epic Collection and the Omnibus are the exact same content, with the exception of like the letter pages, right? But it's the exact same book. It's crazy. So
it's cool. It just collects the entirety of Ditko's run in there. There's no need for it's a good stopping point, I think.
Oh, Tyler, you going to Lexington Comic-Con? No, unfortunately, I can't go this weekend. I'm going to C2E2, so I got to save some funds to go there this year, and that's in April. I'm actually hosting a panel there for the first time, so that'd be cool. That's in Chicago, so that's at the end of April, and then I'm taking my kids to that video game convention in Louisville. But I hope you have fun. That's a fun convention, man.
What is your panel about? I don't know if have you said
collected editions.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever Lars looped me into, so should be fun. Yeah, some good stuff in here. But they've reprinted Doctor Strange before, and I'm sure they'll do it again. Because I want to say Master of the Mystic Arts that's the second printing of it.
At least. Let me check on that.
Right, Curtis? Because it came out previously.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, that's the second printing. The first one was a quad book as well.
The first printing was in 2018.
The volume ones are, especially that classic Kirby Ditko stuff, they're almost guaranteed to just keep on coming back. So I don't know if I want to say that you have to waste your vote on one of those, but I think that the probability of Ditko Doctor Strange coming back is way higher than Afterlife, for instance. So
yeah.
Excalibur, Cross Time Caper, Girl School from Heck, and Curiouser. So volumes 2, 3, and 4, which have only had one printing each. Excalibur Volume 1 is still in print. Didn't that only have? Oh no, that was
they got a second printing.
Yeah,
they got a second printing in 2022.
Yeah, I'm surprised Volume 2 didn't make it last year. That's been out of print for a little bit of Excalibur. The Cross Time Caper.
More Excalibur fans, I guess.
Well, I mean, they should be. That's still the good stuff. That's the Chris Claremont and Alan Davis era.
Yeah,
Girls,
Cross Time Caper, isn't that when they get kind of like Doctor Whovian a little bit with the stories?
which one?
The Cross Time Caper.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
gets a
that's
little
when
nutty.
they were doing interdimensional stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because Captain Britain and all that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like that one. There's a really, really funny story in there too. One of those issues made me laugh to this day. Girls Cool from Heck. Like, yeah, not the best Excalibur, but still from a completist standpoint. Curiouser and Curiouser. That's the return of Davis, isn't it?
Yes,
Curtis?
it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a really good fun run too.
Which, if this is a popular line, we should be getting Captain Britain epics one day, right?
That would be nice.
I would
really
assume
great.
so. I would assume so. Excalibur, a dream to some, to others a nightmare. Fantastic Four. Let's see what Marvel's first family is lacking here. Master Plan of Doctor Doom, Volume 2. Name is Doom. At war with Atlantis. Battle of the Behemoths. All in the family. Is that what it was called? The More Things Change. Yep. This Flame, This Fury, and Strange Days. Strange Days has been out of print for a while.
Of these, I think only Master Plan of Doom has gotten 2 printings before, but the rest are just one.
One printing. Yeah, I can tell by the years 2020 and 2021.
And that Strange Days is the final Fantastic Four volume.
Yeah, that's the one with Carlos Pacheco finishing off the run, right?
Yeah.
Good run. I actually like the way it ended it. Like, because we knew it was going to be part of the Heroes Reborn era. So, yeah.
And then 17-18, we have the Englehart run in there.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in here. Some DeFalco stuff.
Which, I mean, all of Lee Kirby should be kept in print. All of those epics, but
so
the greatest run ever.
The Fantastic Four movie will, without a doubt, bring a lot of these back. If they're treating that like they did with the Daredevil reprints when Echo and the announcements for a new Daredevil
or the Deadpool stuff.
And it was the 60th anniversary of Daredevil also. I think helped boost those a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I think we'll find more of FF.
The Storm Boob Window era. That is correct.
The Tom DeFalco run is my favorite, despite the boob window, but it was a good run.
They knew their target audience. Oh, that was such a great run. Incredible Hulk. The Hulk must die. The leader lives in the hands of Hydra. Who will judge the Hulk? Crisis on Counter Earth. Those are a lot of early volumes. Going Gray and some Peter David stuff. Goes to the past and goes to the future.
Yeah, so if you're getting volume 1 this year, and then you have the volume 2 through 6 are all out of print, so it's like, hopefully, if you're wanting the early Hulk stuff, you can grab it all here. If these come back.
From what I've been hearing online, volume 3 and volume 4 are the most sought after of the Hulk reprints.
Really?
Like that, those are the ones people want.
Was one of those a quad printing?
No, yeah, volume 3 was quad, and it
3.
hasn't been reprinted before, so that one definitely needs to get.
Is that the only quad printing that's not been reprinted?
That's right.
Okay, so that's the only one that needs to be quad corrected.
That's right.
Or Kentucky corrected for that crowd.
I'm seeing a lot of these dates. 2015. Was that really Ghost of the Past? Was 2015? Man, time just flies.
And that's the day, that's when they were printed. So they could have still been in print for a few years after that, but
I think a lot of the really early epics I think had way bigger print runs than they do now. Because those old volumes stayed in print a long time. I think they really have shrunk the print runs because now they know kind of where the size of the group now, but they didn't really know that back when it first started.
And also, I mean, the amount of different lines they have too, I'm sure has probably shrunk some of those print lines too.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody was asking in the chat, which Hulk book do I get to continue from Omnibus 2? I want to say Who Will Judge the Hulk is the one you're looking for.
I'll figure that out for you.
Since they were doing like not exactly lining up perfectly with the epics, but more so the masterworks. But I want to say volume 5 because Hulk 2 goes all the way to 130, 132, 133, maybe 134. And
Hulk Volume 2 ends with issue 134.
when does what
And-
issue is Who Will Judge the Hulk?
So In the Hands of Hydra ends with 137. So Who Will Judge the Hulk? You'll be missing 4 issues if you start there. But Volume 4, those last 3 issues you'll need to continue on from Omnibus Volume 2.
Welcome to the world of double dipping if that's what you want to do for 4 issues, but I'm an idiot. I have bought a book for 1 issue before. Re-releases of just about all media have shorter print runs. Correct. All in the Family hasn't been printed since 2014. That is crazy. Does the Punisher War Journal by Potts and Lee? No, that was not an epic. That is the classic collect. I don't even know if it was called a classic. Is it called Punisher War Journal Classic?
It might be a complete collection.
No, I think it's just called, I'm looking at the spine. It just says the Punisher War Journal. I love that book.
Yeah, I think it's on the background of your the stream here. If you have to take the slideshow down, but I think I could see it on the shelves back there.
Mine or Curtis's?
Whatever you have for the background of the stream. I don't know who's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mine. Yeah, that's my. Those are my shelves. I got it buried behind there somewhere.
Behind? How dare you? Now, at this moment, this part of the episode is brought to you by BD Cosmos. They're our Canadian sponsor. If you're in Canada and you want to buy books like this, they have 25% off your order of 99 Canadian dollars or more. Free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order over $200 or more. And you can tell them to hold all your stuff together so you can ship it out all at once. And they do pack it well for that rough Canadian weather, depending on where in Canada you live. And you let them know Near Mint Conditions sent you their way. You'll be added to a monthly $25 gift card raffle. And entries are valid for all new and returning customers. So that is BD Cosmos. They're based out of Montreal, Quebec. And bdcosmos.com is their website. Great group of folks. If you're Canadian and want to buy Epic Collections. Iron Man, the Golden Avenger by force of arms, the man who killed Tony Stark, Fury of the Firebrand, so the first 4, and then The Enemy Within, the very, very first Epic Collection, Duel of Iron. Wait a minute. The Enemy Within has never been reprinted?
I don't think so. Nope.
Holy crap, that's the first one.
I think that's to Curtis's point. They probably had a big print run.
Shut up, Curtis. War Games and War Machine. Wow. That's crazy. The very first epic, huh? I guess they were trying to figure out, okay, exactly how many do we need to print?
And Golden Avengers gotten 2 printings, 2014 and 2019.
Yeah, I remember that one's being one of the first ones too. War Machine's out of print, huh? And so is War Games.
There haven't been a whole lot of Iron Man reprints, just a few volumes.
Yeah. Which I guess means that they stay in stock, right?
Yeah, because people don't like it and they're not buying them. Something.
Iron Man really needs a Demon in a Bottle storyline printed in epic format. That, for being the first epic collection, I'm surprised we're not done with it yet, or we haven't announced the final ones yet. We still got a little bit to go.
Getting close, though.
I think I found the last decently priced Enemy Within on the aftermarket. On average, how many issues do you read per day? Too many. I don't know about Taylor or Curtis. How many, Taylor?
I'd say probably on average 10 to 12.
Silver Age or modern books?
Well, that definitely plays a role, but I'd say 10 to 12. If it's a modern era, it's probably more than that.
Yeah, multiply that times 4.
Yeah.
Curtis?
It's hard to track because a lot of the comics I read are like, comic strips, which don't have issues, or like graphic novels, which also don't have issues. But I mean, I flew through a volume of Walking Dead last night in half an hour, and that's like 6 issues. I read some on Marvel Unlimited, maybe 4 issues up there, and a couple of issues of Spider-Girl. So I don't know, probably 8 to 10 or something like that, depending on the book.
I read too many. I don't even count by issues anymore now. I count by how many trades or hardcovers I can knock off in a day.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, Volume
So
1,
I
Retribution.
lumped the Power Man and Iron Fist into this one too, just make it one category.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Power Man and Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire, Volume 1, and Revenge, Volume 2. Now that's done. That line we can check off, right?
All of Iron Man,
Power Man, yeah.
all of Luke Cage, Power Man, and Iron Fist are all a nice chunk that's done. That's nice.
I wish I could read that much. I'll be honest. 45 years old now, and I have to have my glasses on. Like I fought it for a year and a half, and it's ain't no more fighting that, brother. I gotta have my glasses on to read. Otherwise, it's like holding a book like this.
You say that,
like that.
Omar, I've worn glasses since I was 5 years old, and now I have to take my glasses off in order to read the book like this.
Like it's because they have bifocals, except they
I can't. It's like my vision's like I can't read it this far away from even with my glasses on now.
Well, I have a friend of mine that has contacts, and he was like, "Yeah, man, my contact on the left, they make it a little less powerful than the one on the right, so I can read." And I was like, "But doesn't that mean you don't have 20/20 vision anymore if you're looking?" Like, and he was like, "Yeah, but you can't win them all, right?"
The things we do to read.
I'm good with reading with glasses. I'm fine. I'm not fighting it that much. Miscellaneous.
So these are all the titles that only have one volume in the entire line that's out of print.
Oh, thank you for explaining. I was like, why did you lump Generation X? Good job. Aliens, Volume 1, Gen X, Back to School. Good for that being out of print. It means it's sold. Hell on Wheels, Volume 1. Kill Ravens out of print. Ooh. I see the only way that being reprinted if people vote for it. Marvel 2-in-1, Cry Monsters out of print. That had 2 printings.
Yeah, and that one had like the first volume is like the first printing is really fat, and the second one is like super skinny. Like I had them both in one comic book shop looking at them. I'm like, how do these collect the same issues?
Yeah, crazy.
Volume 1 had really bulky paper. Like it
right.
For whatever reason, they decided like 5 epics only have this really bulky paper.
I remember.
Same page count and everything.
And oh my goodness, those Moon Knights, right before the show, they were like, we're reprinting all of Moon Knight. So this is one that's out of print now, The Final Rest. The Submariner, Enter the Submariner, Volume 1. Sergeant Fury, The Howling Commandos. Was that 2019?
Yep.
Really?
So.
Huh.
Is that right?
I thought it was old. I thought it was older than that, Curtis. Can you double check? I'm not questioning Taylor. I'm just questioning where he found the information.
Wikipedia says 2019.
Well, I just want to make sure. Because I want to say...
Yep, 2019. Yep.
Really? I thought it was older than that. She-Hulk Breaking the Fourth Wall, Volume 3 is out of print.
And that was the first She-Hulk epic.
Yeah. So some good ones in here. Kill Raven's a one-off, like one and done. You don't need anything else after that.
Which that's a really fun volume.
I like it. It's got some good P. Craig Russell art in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sergeant Fury. Yes, please. Oh, good. There are people that want it. Awesome. Go and vote for it. I'm going to show you how in a little bit. Miss Marvel. I assume they're both out of print. This is another one that series is complete of the classic stuff.
They printed both of them in the same year. I'm assuming some movie might have happened that year. I don't know.
Yep.
A movie might have came out.
Yep.
I mean, they could do a Volume 3 if they want to get into the Brian Reed stuff, or would you call that? Because I assume that the modern stuff would just... Marvel. Yeah, I assume that the modern stuff would just be all Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to collect Captain Marvel in Epic Collections. Because do you do what you do with Ghost Rider and just rebrand it because you have a new character? So you have, you have Marvel, then you have Carol, and then you've got Monica. And I don't know if Monica would have more than... She never really had an ongoing series, right? And they have the saga of Monica Rambeau.
Didn't we see an example of this in the omnibuses? Didn't they call the classic era Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel? But Omnis, as you know, Omnis are branded a little bit different. Epic Collections are curated to be reading orders with volume numbers on the back. So, if you do that, are you going to have 4 different eras of Captain Marvel. And where do you put Miss Marvel by Brian Reed? Because that's Carol, when she was with the Avengers and ready to step up. It's just, it's gotta be, I'd love to be in that room when they're deciding like how they're going to do that for curating.
I assume it'd be something like what they did with Ghost Rider, but
poor Sharon, Miss Marvel is forgot about. She's in the Epic collections. She's hanging out. She's in the Epics. What's next? The New Mutants. What's out of print here? Renewal. Volume 1's out of print, huh? Asgardian Wars. Volume 3, Sudden Death. And Curse of the Valkyries. Curse of the Valkyries. The very first Epic New Mutant, right, Curtis?
Yes, or was Volume 1 first? I can't remember.
No. I remember it was the one
Volume
I needed because it was after the classics. Remember they canceled the classics line.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And I had Inferno, and I had Extinction Agenda, and I had what's the other? Oh, Fall of the Mutants. So I was like, oh, the next book. That's what I was like, man. That is some way ahead mapping is what they were doing. They were like, okay, we're gonna map this for the people that were collecting the classics, and I'm sure they were like, but what if we wanted to release a volume 1? They're gonna rebuy it because it's gonna be rebranded. It's gonna be now the Marvel Epic Collections instead of the classics. Now I will say, I don't know. I don't think it's been released yet. The classics, the New Mutants classics, those are completely uncensored. There's a derogatory term that is used that they blacked out in Omnibus Volume 2.
Oh,
and
really?
I can't remember if I don't think the Epics have collected it yet.
It won't be that Volume 4 that I was so excited to come out because it's going to complete the New Mutants line.
I think it's probably, it might be in the Volume 4, but it was not censored in the classics, which is really interesting.
They pushed that back. I think that's coming out in January now, maybe next January.
You don't know what issue it was?
Not off the top of my head. I just know that it was censored in the Marvel or in the New Mutants Omnibus Volume 2.
Let's take away your expert card now.
Oh, yes, you know me. I keep tabs on all the derogatory terms being used in Marvel. Let me pull up my master list off the top of my head.
Your X-Men expert card, not knowing which issue it was. You're always rattling off which issue this is.
Okay, I will say, if you have that kind of ability, first of all, weird. All right. Let's keep going. Punisher. I know this guy needs some love.
I think all but one of his are out of print.
Kingpin Rules, Volume 3, Return to Big Nothing, Volume 4, Jigsaw Puzzle, Volume 5, and Capital Punishment, Volume 7.
Yeah, the only one that is still in print is the one that just
came back to print.
A reprint. Yeah.
Which
I'm
Punisher
hoping this guy gets some love.
Yeah, he did well in the Omnibus reprint poll.
He did, and those were reprinted. But I mean, as far as like get some love, not just reprints, I'd love a new Punisher collection. I'd love a new Punisher collection.
And have we decided that War Journal would be a separate line, right?
We
haven't decided anything. Yeah. Curtis, what do you think?
It would have to be at this point because Volume 7 doesn't have any War Journal in it.
Okay. When I say we decided, I meant like the people, the Epicureans that map out these things in advance, predicting what Marvel would do.
Is Phil here? He would be the one that knows. It is New Mutants 45, by the way. Thank you, Derek. Not calling Derek out that he remembers all the derogatory terms in comics, but he might have looked it up. I just remember the cover. Is the cover Magic by Barry Windsor Smith? That's the one. Still commonly see Capital Punishment.
Yeah, and 45 that'll be the first issue of Volume 4.
Yeah, so that's the one. So we'll see. What are the chances that some of this material will ever be collected in omnibus format for Punisher? Dude, I don't know. Right now, I don't know, because it's weird that we haven't had a new Punisher epic, a new Punisher omnibus outside of the new Jason Aaron trade paperbacks and where they changed his logo, and now we have a new Punisher. 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, yes, these things are coming. But now it's like, I don't know, it might be a while. And it's not like they're shying away from the character, because if they truly wanted to shy away from the character, you wouldn't see the. Like, they're re-releasing Savage Avengers as a big, thick trade paperback, and the character's there with the skull, right? Like, it's not like they're digitally removing the character as we've seen in the past, like with Cigars, Mutant Massacre, issue 210. Wolverine Stogie is gone. Any printing that you see that on the cover now, you don't see that Cigar anymore.
And we got a reprinting of the Innis Max Omnibus this year, right?
Yeah, and then there's that. So I don't think they're shying away from the character per se.
And we got the reprint of the Epic Collection that Curtis talked about earlier.
Marvel also has no problem licensing out the content to other countries. So like, because I know there's the big Punisher collection coming out, I think in Brazil or something like that pretty soon. And so they I think it's a uniquely American market thing that they're looking at the moment.
Do you know what material the Brazil collection is getting?
I'd have to look it up. It's classic though. Yeah.
Is it something that's been collected here already? Or is it like
I'm not sure. I'll have to let me just see if I can find it.
I was just curious.
What do they call him in Brazil? Justice something or other.
Social justice warrior? Oh, that would be
sure. That'd be a way to rebrand him.
Please don't bring that. No, please don't bring that to the universe. Dude, Peru's always slacking, man. We still fighting civil wars down there. We can't get anything straight. Ennis is writing another Punisher Max series with Fury. And I love that Fury book. And I know some people despise it because they were like, this is just... It and if you think about it, if you've read the Fury book, like, it is way over the top and ridiculous. But like when he strangles the guy with his own intestines, it's like somebody told Garth Ennis, dude, you know what you did on Preacher? Yeah, you could do that here, but you don't have to hold back, man. Just do whatever you want to. It's a Max line. I dig it, but there were Punisher or Nick Fury fans that hated that series, just like they were Punisher fans that hated Punisher Born. And
I love Punisher. I love Punisher Born. That's actually the only Innis Punisher that I really care for is Punisher Born.
You didn't like Welcome Back, Frank? Oh, I thought that was great, man.
I just thought it was. I don't know. Sometimes Innis, I'm just like, okay, I get it. You hate superheroes, but like, come on. It wasn't for me.
I dug it, dude. I dug it. Oh, man, a fight with Wolverine in the Max series with Derek Robertson when he
the art. Hey, Derek Robertson art on that was great. I love Derek Robinson's art on
that was good, man.
I like Innis war comics. I think Innis is like the best like modern war comic writer, but like his anything he has to do with heroes and superheroes, I'm just like,
You think he's this? What I remember people complaining about Punisher Born is that he was being disrespectful to the character because he was rewriting an origin about Frank. That
no, I thought it made so much sense, and I love the angle he took from it.
I don't want to spoil what happens, but you thought the voice made sense. That's what people had issues with.
I like that 4-issue run is great.
I found it. It's from Panini Comics. I am not sure exactly what language it is in, but I'm assuming it's Spanish, actually, not
Portuguese.
Portuguese, not Portuguese, but it's the Jim Lee and Carl Potts war journal stuff.
Dude, I love that stuff.
And then there's also a Wolverine Ghost Rider Punisher that mini series by Howard Mackey and John Romita Jr.
Man, that's the good stuff.
Heart of Darkness, that one.
So those are getting hardcover volumes in
that's
somewhere
awesome.
I just remember that was my first taste of a forum was people arguing over Punisher by Garth Ennis. And
they're doing the Greg Rucka run as well.
That's a run that needs to be an omnibus format. That's got beautiful art, especially with Kiketo blowing up now.
Or maybe a modern epic.
I mean, yeah.
What are you doing?
Just trying
Silver Surfer.
That's the brand we're talking about.
The strike 2 for you, Taylor. Silver Surfer when calls Galactus, Volume 1, Infinity Gauntlet, Resurrection, Inner Demons.
This is another character that is getting really close to completion, Obviously, I know a lot of Epic heads are waiting for that volume 2. And then when he calls Galactus, I think that's all reprints of Fantastic Four appearances, right?
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of all the early
And
appearances.
they're not even
there's
complete
two-
issues,
yeah.
right? Don't they only take like
Some of them are material from
Yeah.
like where he just shows up. It is interesting how they did that one compared to other characters, because that feels almost like a omnibus type of mapping.
It
the
does.
way
So
they did that one.
I would have expected almost like the Silver Surfer Volume 1 omnibus to collect like what's in this Volume 1 epic and then also the Lee Buscema run. That
would be
omnibus
volume
isn't too
2. Oh, that would be so good. Really quickly, Curtis Logan's asking what was it that they're printing in for Punisher in Brazil or Panini?
Panini. I mean, it's probably Brazil, so it's probably in Portuguese. It's the Lee and Potts. What Punisher War Journal
is what they
issues.
worked on. Mhm.
And then there's also a hardcover collection of the Ghost Rider, Wolverine Punisher miniseries. I can't remember what that one is called. And it looks like the Greg Rucka stuff also. So if you go over to just look up Panini Brazil and go to their website, you should be able to find that information there.
But again, you have to speak the language. Otherwise, what's the point?
Google Translate.
They have apps for that now where you can scan your phone over the top of it and it'll translate it for you.
Did you not hear that I have to read with glasses on? I'm not gonna freaking use my phone to Well, I guess I could blow up the. Wait a minute, I could blow. You know what? No, if I have to do that, I'm not. I can't. No, I'll stick with just waiting till it's translated.
That's how you can read some of that manga that hasn't been translated too, Omar. I know you're into manga.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. No, I've got a lot untranslated stuff. But a lot of it was mature content you couldn't get in America. So.
I was just saying you don't have enough to read.
Whoa, Star Wars! Holy moly!
Oh no, there's 2 pages of Star Wars. So
all right, tell me about these. I'm gonna go ahead and add that book because now I have the editing thing.
Yeah, so if you don't see the Star Wars that you're looking for, just wait till the next slide because there's 2 full pages of it. There's 25 Star Wars epics that are out of print.
How many?
25.
All right, go through these for people.
All right, we have Star Wars Legends, Infinities Volume 1. And then we have Star Wars Legacy Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Tales of the Jedi Volume 1. Clone Wars Volumes 1, 2, and 3. The Empire 3, 4, and 5. The Ministry Revealed Volume 1 and 2. And then if Omar, yeah, there we go. And then the New Republic Volumes 4 and 5. The newspaper strips 1 and 2. The Old Republic Volume 3. Then we have the original Marvel years, which I saw some people, I think on your show last night, Curtis, people were talking about wanting some of these. Volumes 1 through 5 are all out of print. And then the Rebellion Volumes 1 and 3.
Man. Curtis, thoughts?
I mean, it's high time they started doing some Star Wars reprints.
Those are your thoughts. I love it.
Yeah. So one of the main things I think here is that their intention for this was to collect this material on Omnibus first. So that's what they're doing. Before they get to the reprints, they're now putting it all in Omnibus format.
Which
so
we kind of guessed whenever we were talking about those, right, in the past.
Yeah.
Which I think, like Omar, you predicted that you thought maybe the Omnibus reprint poll would be Star Wars heavy, which actually it ended up not being. I thought we were going to for sure see those original Marvel years appear in the Omnibus reprint pool.
I knew those wouldn't appear just because they were liquidated for so long, but I really I thought we were going to get other things.
Yeah,
I knew Old Republic would make it. No, wait, I take it back. I thought the original Marvel Years Volume 1 would make it, even though it had been out of print for so long.
Yeah, that's because so many people want the material that maybe didn't get a chance to get it back then. But so I don't know, maybe an Epic it'll do better. Who knows? The newspaper strips, though, I have a question about that and Curtis, I know you read a lot of comic strips. How were those collected in the Epics? Were they like? Did you have to turn the page? Like, was it?
Okay, so the story with those is that Dark Horse, when they first got the license, they took the newspaper strips and they reformatted it for comic book shape size. So, and they colored it. So it's all like that. They didn't reprint all of the strips like in those issues though, so that to be complete, they did put those missing strips in these books, and I'll see if I can find an example. Because you do have to turn the page sideways
for the ones that the Dark Horse didn't reprint.
Yeah, so there's like one or two stories. So these are the daily
Okay.
strips, and then when you get to a Sunday, you do have to turn the book sideways because they kept the formatting.
Oh, that looks cool. So, did the Library of American Comics do newspaper strips also for Star Wars? Or is
Yes,
okay.
that's collected in 3 volumes, and it's my opinion better because I mean, it's not in color, but the Sundays are in color, but the dailies are not.
Yeah.
They
But it's the original way that they're printed.
It's the original, it's original landscape size, and they're printed bigger and such. So
interesting. So I was curious to read those because Al Williamson did a lot of the artwork, and I love his artwork.
Yep. Oh, he's amazing on those Star Wars strips. So much detail.
Which Rick Veitch too. Fun fact was his kind of like his background or his assistant, his uncredited assistant for a lot of this. So Rick Veitch was actually drawing a lot of like the tech and like he said the AT-ATs especially. Rick Veitch had to work out how to construct those because Al Williamson's like, you're good with the engineering stuff. Figure out these AT-ATs. So that's actually like Rick Veitch artwork.
There's just so much detail in the way he draws the ships in these, and I can't believe because he gets reprinted like this big on the newspaper page.
Yeah.
I can't even find an example.
Which a fun little tidbit while you're looking for that. The different company, but Fantagraphics is doing those Atlas Artist Edition type deals where it's not really like an artist edition, but that's what they're calling it, the Artist Library, where like those tall books. And Volume 1 was the Joe Maneely stuff. Volume 2 they just announced it's going to be Al Williamson.
Cool.
The Joe Maneely stuff is wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be Al Williamson Atlas era artwork.
That's very cool. Yeah, he had a different style back then, but it's still good stuff.
Yeah, Al Williamson's awesome. I'm a big fan of this stuff.
Thor.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this one, everyone is probably going to vote for Volume 5. That's the one that everyone is talking about.
Is this what you've been hearing through the grapevine? That's the one that.
Oh yeah,
that's what his voters in the Epicurean land are telling the Prime Minister.
That's right.
Okay.
Volume 2 and Volume 5 are the most requested ones out of this bunch here.
In Volume 2, I will say it contains material that's in the Thor Omnibus Volume 2 that did not get into the top 20 of the Omnibus reprint poll for some reason. So it's like this material just does not want to be reprinted.
Well,
and I only know this because I recently was reading this material and I don't have the Omnibus Volume 2, so I had to read 10 issues digitally. Like, how awful is that before I got to the Volume 3 epic of Thor? I'm just kidding. It wasn't awful.
I do wonder, people have asked in the past, like, why they do epics out of order. And my answer has always been the same, that, they want the books to sell. And they have tried many, many times in the past, starting with Volumes 1, and eventually people losing interest.
I think it's genius
to a certain point. But if you give them something semi-modern, and then you give them something from the past, and you have all those holes to fill in the middle, kind of gives people, like, you give people a sense of completion once you get certain arcs done. And it's really cool that they're doing it, in big chunks like that. I love it. Honestly, I think Thor 2, I mean, look how long it took for people to vote for Thor 1, though. That one was not anywhere near the radar. And then when prices went for $400 to $500, people started voting for it. Thor 2, I think, outside of Tomb of Dracula, might be the other most expensive out-of-print omnibus right now for Marvel Comics. Yeah.
As far as the out-of-order thing, I think it's genius because when you look at what DC did, like we've talked about how DC has tried to do their own little epic line a few times, and it's like always
they're trying again with the DC.
They're trying again, but I hope they kind of go out of order because it makes sense to pick up. Like,
it looks like they are.
Marvel had like the strategy that they would do some books that had never been collected, some material that's never been collected, like when they did like the Iron Man that directly followed after the omnibuses. Then they do some like big stories like Maximum Carnage. And then you'll fill in the gaps there as you fill in. So it caters to so many different audiences. Some people only want like that Maximum Carnage volume of Spider-Man, and it's cool to not have it on the spine like a weird number on your spine. on your shelf. Some people want to complete the whole thing. Some people only want, it caters to so many different audiences. I think it's genius.
Well, I mean, it's worked, right?
And
They've
it's worked.
been at it for 11 years, so it's been good. And I hope they continue doing it. And I hope that it looks like DC's Finest will be printed out of order, but I guess we'll see once that first book is out and once they decide on, I guess price point is the other big thing. Wolverine, Volume 3, Blood and Claws, probably one of my most favorite eras of Wolverine. Inner Fury, The Dying Game, Shadow of Apocalypse, and Blood Debt. Shadow of Apocalypse and The Dying Game, 2015 for The Dying Game, huh?
That was the first Wolverine book, or the second one, I think. The first one was Volume 1. Dying Game was the second one.
Yeah. So 5 books out of print for Wolvie. X Factor, Genesis and Apocalypse, Volume 3, Angel of Death.
I'm going to guess that Volume 1 went out of print when the whole kerfuffle with the omnibuses came about, and you were recommending like, hey, that Volume 1 Epic collects everything you need. That was in print for a while, and then it seems like it just recently went out of print before you announced the X Factor Omnibus.
I can't. You talking about with the release of Uncanny 5?
Yeah, where you're like, if you want those first 10 issues of X Factor or whatever it was, you get the Epic collection.
Oh, and that drove it out of print. Yeah, probably. Yeah, but we are getting now you got 2 other options in omnibus format with the X Factor Omnibus and the Mutant Prelude to the Massacre Omnibus,
which is great. Options are great.
Yeah, and you can go the Epic route. So, Angel Death, all new, all different X Factor, which is one of my favorite era, and Examinations, Volume 8, which has probably the single best X Factor issue in that.
Volume 7 will be my number 1 vote. I just want to put that out there. I actually owned that at one point. I owned 7 and 8, and then during one of my purchases, I sold them because you announced the omnibus. So I was like, I'll go the omnibus route. And then I since retroactively have decided to go for all the mutant books. I'm going epics. So I need that volume.
What's wrong with you?
I like the way they're mapped better.
It's the same mapping.
No, I'm talking about of like the X-Men line. So that
I get it. Yeah. I'm a fan of the Uncanny line in Epic.
You like that Uncanny X-Men Volume 4?
Oh, that also, yes. The what is it from
non-existing omnibus yet?
Yeah, that's right. Yet. Darkest before the dawn.
That's what it's called. Yeah,
Examinations has issue number 87, which to me blew my mind as a kid, and a lot of people became Quicksilver fans or tolerable of Quicksilver because of one page, and that's all.
Does it have a derogatory term in it?
No, let me check my brain. No, that's not me. Who was it that found it?
Volume 7, though, I love that Larry Stroman stuff in the beginning of that run.
Yeah, it's a shame we lost him to Image Comics, but I get it. They had to pull him, and he went on to do The Tribe, which I think is coming back, or I heard somewhere it was coming back. He was supposed to draw the Executioner song. We even had like the first couple of issues and stopped after the first couple of pages, sorry, not issues. And then they got Jay Lee at the last minute to come in and draw those.
Which is a great segue. Executioner song to the next slide.
X-Force, Under the Gun, and Executioner song, both out of print, huh?
And it's actually a nice segue to the next slide because the Executioner song is also out of print.
Oh, whoa! Remember the running joke of X Factor? Yes. Oh God, that was in the annual, and then he showed back up. I love that.
I love that too.
Drew the biggest butts in comics. He's up there. He's up there with Ed Benes. Somebody else, I can't remember. Now you got
the artist of the Mexican Spider-Man.
Yeah, that guy giving him his run for his money. Omar's a hardcover snob. Yes, obviously. With 2,000 books that are trade paperbacks, I'm such a snob. All my manga.
Only Taylor because it isn't in hardcover. If
let me tell you,
came in hardcover, you upgraded, didn't you, Berserk?
Of course I did. That's my favorite manga. I didn't with Blackjack. And I even had, when I was reviewing manga, they sent me limited edition hardcovers of them. And I ended up giving them to a friend of mine because they gave me the first 3. And I was like, I already have these in trades. And I love Blackjack. That's probably my favorite Tezuka book outside of Astro Boy and Unico.
I want that to be reprinted so bad. I only have the first 4 volumes of Blackjack.
Oh, Blackjack's a masterpiece.
I know. I love those first 4 volumes, but those are the only ones that are.
Those 3 hardcovers have some extra chapters that aren't in the trades.
I made a decision because I was like, I can't rebuy everything in hardcover, so I kept my trades. Vertical puts out some.
They only ended up doing those three hardcovers. They never did the rest of the series in hardcover.
God bless. Why didn't I keep them then, Curtis? X-Men, Lonely Are the Hunted, Volume 2, The Sentinels Live, Volume 3, I, Magneto. Amazing story in there. Mutant Genesis, Bishop's Crossing. That's one I hear a lot of people ask me about. And Executioner's Song. So those are the ones that are out of print. Make sure you go and vote. Speak up. And I will, and I can do a live look now as people are voting.
And there's one more slide.
Of X-Men?
Bishop's Crossing.
That one? That's all, folks. Thank you for that. Look, you just warmed Curtis's heart.
That was my son's idea. He was looking at my slideshow and he said, "You just like ended abruptly. You need something at the end."
It's a good idea. That was a good idea. All right. So thank you all so much for joining us. Let's let me do this really quick. I actually need to stop sharing for a second. And I need to refresh this because I'm going to show everyone how to vote. And once I show everyone how to vote, I'm going to open the polls up. And including Curtis and Taylor can go and vote. I want to make sure this is bigger, though. So I'm going to leave
for.
What's that?
What should I vote for? I'll take requests from.
Don't take requests. Don't give Curtis requests.
Are you accepting loonies and toonies for payment?
Yes, please.
All right. I will let you know when to refresh, by the way. Okay. So let me make this just a little bit bigger so everybody can see. All right. So this is how you vote. You go to the link, which is in the description of the video. I'm going to make this into a short too, so you can watch it a little bit later in case you don't want to watch the whole thing. All you have to do is put your email address right there, which is nearmintcondition@gmail.com. Sure. Once you've got that filled out, we're not going to mail you anything. We're not going to spam your mailbox. We just need a legit email. So please don't make any up, especially if it's a derogatory term towards the host of the show. I do appreciate that. And it does make it easier to find people that are
speaking from experience here.
Yeah, I'm speaking from experience.
Oh my goodness.
I almost let it fly though. I was like,
people are awful.
Did you catch it right away since you're you have the pinpoint of picking out the derogatory term? I really got you right away.
And then you vote for the 5 that you want the most. This is tier ranking, meaning that your first choice will have the highest vote. So if you want, let's do Amazing Spider-Man 3. Your second choice will have the second choice or the second highest vote. Your third choice, and so on. You people are smart. You can figure this out. You read Epic Collection, so I know you're smart. And then you have your 5th choice. Now, once you're done with that, you go all the way down to the bottom. Do not forget this part. After you vote for all the 5 that you want, you have to answer this question right here. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Wood, whatever. And what is your name on YouTube? You don't have to get the right answer, and you don't have to put your name from YouTube. But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. The most important thing is hit submit, and that's it. That's how you vote. So keep that in mind. Can somebody keep that timestamp, please? Okay, thank you. I am going to open up the polls now. So everybody that's watching us live, refresh your YouTube, and you can see the link now in the description of the video. So if you close out YouTube, open it back up, you can see
James Rhodes in the chat asked if there's no modern epics. Yeah, there's no
No,
modern,
because they're
modern
all in
epics that
print.
are out of print.
Yeah, they're
They're
all in
all
print so far. And I will share the.
All right, it looks like it's good and it's live. I got access to it.
Is it live? I got 0 responses so far. You people need to be quicker.
I'm voting right now.
I'm just kidding. Take your time. So that's all you need to do. The link is in the description of the video once you refresh YouTube. Or if you're coming in later, there you go. Or also, James is writing the link to this. Thank you, James. What a guy. Don't forget to smash that like button. And at this time, while you're voting, check out our sponsor in the EU, Walt's Comic Shop. So if you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering Epic Collections, check out waltzcomicshop.com. Based out of Berlin, Germany, they have the cheapest pre-order prices for big books from Marvel and DC, flat rate shipping of €12 for all EU countries, and bulletproof packaging. And tell them Near Mint Condition, all one word at the checkout, sent you their way, and you get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order of over €40 or more. And that's waltzcomicshop.com, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Good luck, everybody. 1 response so far. Oh, this person really liked Daredevil. Okay.
And remember that we need to have over 500 responses so that we can prove that we are better than the Omnibus poll.
Well, that's just before the end of the stream. I think total there's like 4,000 votes or something, right?
41, little over 4,100 votes.
Yeah, just before the end of the Omnibus stream, there was 500. So
Iron Man Volume 3 is
how long
missing
do we have
from
to
the
stay
poll.
on?
Is it? I can add it on there. Give me a second.
Iron Man Volume 3. No, it's there. It's just they're not in numerical order by volume.
I can sorry. Sometimes I have to move things around, and that's okay. James did an amazing job doing this.
my response has been recorded.
Awesome. Which one was it, Curtis? Iron Man Volume 3?
Yeah, it's there. The man who killed Tony Stark.
Okay, I see what's going on. So Iron Man Volume 1, I'll move it. So by the time you
I noticed
refresh
No, it looks
the
I think
X Factor
all of
ones
them-
are out of order too.
they're all out of order. They are all alphabetical order
Oh.
according to the volume title, not the volume number.
everything,
Yeah, it looks like it.
God
But there, I mean,
bless
all
America.
of the
That's not that bad.
characters are grouped together, so you should be able to find what you.
Did you say I should be able to? I should put you
No,
in
the,
charge.
the voters can scroll a little bit up and down. You can figure it out. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna fix it. I like making things easier for people. So it's not that big of a deal. And we got 25 responses so far. Good job. Oh, we got a super chat. Let me get that really quick. Please, Andesenti's Daredevil Epic Collection. Thank you, Jack Ferry. ¿Cómo estás, hermano? I'm going through here. Silver Surfers also. So I'll tell James the next. I'm pretty sure it's so much easier for him to do it this way, but to make it easier for everybody else, I'm just gonna move things around and keeping it all together.
Okay, I'm gonna vote for Killraven.
Do you not have that? I thought you had that.
He has all.
Oh,
of
I've
them.
got it. I just want to vote for.
He's voting for the underdogs.
And voting honestly, and I mean honest voting at that, helps Marvel decide, what to print and to keep listening to us. Because if 100 people or 100 somebody creates 100 different accounts to go and vote for Nick Fury Volume 1 and it doesn't sell that well, doesn't look good for the community. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm moving things. You said X Factor was out of order too. Looks like 7 is up here. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, if they have like 100 votes for one book and then they reprinted it and there's not 100 people that buy it at least.
Only one guy that bought it. You're the only one benefiting, unfortunately. So that's why we have to make sure there's no fake accounts and all that, which is always fun. Okay, I moved most of the things. If you all see something out of order, let me know. And but try to refresh first. I think I've got everything fixed now. Legends looks okay.
Were you able to add life theft for
I added it. It's under Amazing Spider-Man Life Theft.
Okay. So I think that was the only one that was left off. So one strike for me.
Two, really, because you went on a whole thing about epics being better than omnis. I don't know where that came from.
That's a bonus point. Bonus point.
Curtis just rubs off on people.
No, I was trying to speak to the brand. If you put me on the Omnibus show, I'll say the opposite.
You're trying to speak to the brand. Ghost Rider Hell on Wheels is out of print. That just came out. Fantastic Four is out of order. I have to fix that.
No, it came out over a year ago, I think.
Dude, time needs to slow down a little bit. It's correct. Fantastic Four, 22, 25, 2 and 5. Okay.
Which we don't have any Ghost Riders coming out this year, do we?
Yeah,
yep, we do. We have a Ghost Rider Volume 2, Johnny Blaze Volume 2.
Oh, okay.
Salvation Run.
I like when they go like one a year for those smaller lines. It's a nice little something to look forward to. So the next year they'll probably do a Johnny Blaze Volume 2, maybe, perhaps.
Unless there's like a movie attached or something.
There's rumors Nick Cage might be appearing in the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Things I never thought people wanted to see.
Hey, one of the coolest things about that Flash movie was Nick Cage as Superman fighting a spider.
And it wasn't even Nick Cage. It was like CG Nick Cage.
It wasn't. But that was such a cool thing if you know the Kevin Smith story about that whole thing.
I do. All right. 13 needs to be moved down. Captain America 2 needs to be in the right spot. 67 votes so far, everybody. And we'll look. I'm going to share the screen here in a minute when I have everything moved around.
Do you know by offhand how many votes the Epic Reprint poll got last year? Oh, okay.
No. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm sorry. Curtis should, though.
Curtis?
I don't remember. I don't think I ever knew that.
I always tell you everything. What are you talking about? I share with you
like the number of
how many votes we got. Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you're like, I don't care.
I'm pretty sure it was higher than the Omni poll last year as well.
That's impossible.
Much higher, probably. Like double.
Avengers 4. There we go. Okay. I think we're good now. If you refresh it, everything should be in numerical order. And I'm sorry if you liked it in alphabetical order.
Okay, someone's asking about Avengers Fear the Reaper on the poll.
It's in there.
Our slideshow?
It's in there. I see it.
Okay.
Avengers 23. If you refresh it, it's all in numerical order now, I believe. I'm going to go through here one more time to see if I missed anything. Oh, I missed Captain America. Dang it. Blood, and glory. 81 responses so far, and we'll look at the responses here in a little bit.
I'm trying to look at your video last year to see if you mentioned how many votes they got.
If you look at the one where I announced them, that should tell you.
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. But I think I remember telling Curtis, and he specifically said, I'll remember for next year. I got you.
I'll remember the exact number.
And I was like, wow, it's like, I love my group so much. I'll remember everything.
He's really hurting your potential for being reelected to prime minister.
Is there an election? I just thought he nominated himself and voted for himself in Resurrection.
There would need to be someone to run against.
Oh yeah, I nominate Michael Emmond. I like that guy. He's Canadian. He's funny. Really hoping Spider-Man 3. Oh, all right, voted for row 151. Did I add a row 151 in there? Let me get that out of there. Dang it.
You mentioned the 2 years ago Marvel reprinted 19 out of 20 that were voted on.
Yeah, they're really good. They've been great to us.
And I think that one that they didn't do was a Star Wars.
Yeah, but I think they're doing it this year, right? They decided to do it this year, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I do believe that is all of them in order. 90 of the responses. Let's get to 100, a little bit over 100.
I'm just reading the captions of this video, trying to see if you mentioned this.
I'm pretty sure I did. If not, I threw Curtis under a bus. Said he was supposed to remember. Curtis, you know what we're gonna do, right?
Do you have access to that? Sorry, do you have access to that poll from last year? Like, can you look at the
I can
the
look at the
result on the
list.
Google
Yeah,
form?
give me a second. I sent it to David.
You didn't mention it in your preamble of the video how many votes there were.
Oh, shoot, no, then I can't see that how many people. But let me see if I can find the list that I sent David for last year.
Hey, Carlos says X-Men 2 is missing.
Let's see. I can add it on there if it is missing. Thank you for that. No, it's there. You may not have hit refresh, but it's right above Sentinels live. Sorry. Epic reprint. Let me look at my email really quick. Okay, so the last one. All right, here's the ones that I sent him. You ready, Curtis?
For the number or the list of?
I sent him the top 25 and
okay.
I highlighted the ones that, okay. So I think the ones we didn't do were Punisher 5 Jigsaw Puzzle. Yeah. That's number 25. Stark Wars. I think we announced that, didn't we?
No, I think that was on today's show. Was it? Let me see.
Okay. So
Stark Wars is on the list.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 18. So I sent him 25 and then he picked from the 25. So I may send him the top 20 this time around because it looks like he picked from some of the 25 at the bottom. But
this says Stark Wars is getting reprinted January 2025.
Okay, so
yep, it is.
Okay. Jigsaw Puzzle didn't make it. Cosmic Adventures didn't make it. Goblin's Last Stand didn't make it. Captain America Justice is Served didn't make it. And Venom didn't make it. Those are the ones from the top, like the bottom, that didn't make it.
So those ones are ones that people have been constantly asking about this last year.
And
so
I'm
they
pretty
will
sure those
probably
will win.
higher.
Those will take the top here because we have announced Kingpin Rules, Root of Evil, New Republic 4. Did we announce that, or did they?
No, they gave us New Republic 1 instead.
1. So they're going to go that route. Then they're probably going to go that order. Streets of Poison, Superior, Strategem, which I'm going to ask about.
Oh, hold on, Omar.
Yes.
For those of you who just care about the content and not necessarily the branding, we did in our recent video, the solicit video the other day, talk about a new Thrawn book that's coming out, which is pretty much the same contents, exactly the same contents as the New Republic Volume 4.
Oh, okay. But
it
doesn't it have more material in it, like from the Omnibus that they didn't have in that Epic Collection?
No, I think the only difference is it has more bonus features that didn't make it into the Epic Collection.
Okay.
But the contents would be exactly the same. It's just the 3 Thrawn miniseries.
Yeah, that's what you guys concluded on the live stream. Was that the contents is exactly the same as far as the issues go.
Yep. So that fills the hole. I mean, I know it sucks if you want the Epic Collection, all on your shelf and whatnot, but if you just care about the content, it is getting another go.
108 votes so far. Don't forget to smash that like button. And I'm gonna quickly share just a little bit of what's going on, a little behind the scenes here, Now, the only problem is when it comes to sharing this, like it gets updated. And it updates like as somebody votes, so it takes me back to the beginning. So let's share the screen. So this is what I look at. This is what we're looking at. So far we have 113 responses. Like this is 113 responses of this. Would all of you know this one, except for like less than 10% of you?
So someone typed in Norris. That's hilarious.
That was me. I did that.
Oh. That's funny.
So all of Tom King's Batman in a River, never to be seen again.
Oh, that's funny.
Somebody took time. They hate Tom King's Batman that much. I love that. Okay. So to kind of give you an idea of what we see is, you have your first choice here that takes the most votes, right? And this is all in alphabetical order. But as soon as this hits like 119, as you all are voting, it'll go back to the beginning. So like Avengers has like 5 people voting as their first choice, and that's what counts the most. But the tier ranking and the voting it balances everything out. It's a phenomenal way of doing this. And the next voting that we're going to have is that of your most wanted Marvel Epic or Omnibus formats, which my good friend Crushing Crisis is going to join me for that. And that's the first time we're going to be doing it using this system to make life easier for Tiger Eyes.
Oh, I'll be there too.
Unfortunately, I don't have a vote here since I own them all. Look at you. Yes, and Taylor is going to be there. I don't know about a slideshow. We haven't talked about that yet. We probably need to put something together. Holy crud. Okay.
Stand. There you go.
Stand is
and
big.
Venom's there too.
Yeah,
those are
the
we
two
were thinking
big
would
ones
be
from
here.
last year. So I kind of figure that.
Did we explain that they're weighted? Your rankings are weighted?
Yeah, I thought I said that earlier, right? You
I
want to
don't know.
explain it again as I scroll through here?
Well, oh yeah. So your vote as you rank them, your first choice is
Wait.
gonna have
You're dead to me, Peter. Go ahead. Go ahead.
whatever you rank first will be carry more weight in your vote than what you rank fifth. So it's weighted ranking that way. So each character, each book here has 5 potential colored bars. That's going to tell you where they're ranking per people's first choice, second choice, third choice, all the way to 5th choice. It looks like Thor 2 it has some votes, but not doing so hot.
Amazing Spidey's killing it right now. But
Yeah.
the more you like, it's open now. So
Right.
I'm opening it for a little over a week. So you come in here anytime. You can you don't have to make up your mind right now and vote. Yeah, buddy.
Can you scroll so you're not showing the email addresses on?
Oh, thank you. Was it another F-off Omar email address at gmail.com?
Mine was one of them, which is fine. Mine's public anyway.
Of course. I will be spamming that email. Okay. I'm curious how the X titles are doing. We looked at Spidey.
Yeah, me too.
Punisher Kingpin Rules seems to be doing pretty well. Star Wars, Clone Wars, Thor 5. This is what happens when people vote.
There might be so many Star Wars ones that all the votes get like split.
Right. Everybody wants something different. Thor. It looks like Thor 5 is doing really well. From
those X-Men.
I'm getting there. 2, 8, 20. Executioner song. Interesting.
But as the 5th one.
Yeah. 4. Not as strong as Spidey. Spidey seems to be getting a lot of love, but like I said, anything can happen. Things change. Like things that were doing really well when I kicked off the Omnibus poll, like some of them didn't even make it. Emails.
Yeah,
that is a strike one for Omar. That is right. Wasn't Goblin's Last Stand recently reprinted? It was reprinted in 2021, but there have been so many new people to collecting Epic collections that it makes sense. Yeah,
it's just one of the most popular Spider-Man stories. So people who don't even collect Epic collections are buying that one because they want the story.
Same with the Venom one.
And Punisher getting some love. And so I see a lot of love for Spidey. Doctor Strange Volume 1. Daredevil getting some love again this year. 127 votes so far. And I'll stop sharing here in a little bit. Avengers, there we go. Fear the Reaper.
Wow.
Volume 5.
Yeah, it seems like it's exactly what you said. Those ones that kind of finished at the bottom of the vote last year are going to be owning the first half of the vote this year.
Yeah, I think so. The Spideys are doing really well. So, yeah, I'll share here in a little bit again. So I started doing this a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago. I think it's the first time we let people vote because so many people asked that they like doing the Marvel Omnibus one. And they were wondering if I could do one for Epic Collections. And I got with Curtis because keeping up with out-of-print books has become a nightmare. A complete nightmare that I had to assemble a team to help me because it used to be easy when there was just one distributor. Now we have 3 different distributors. And, oh my gosh, I can't tell when something's out of stock. It's crazy.
And on top of that, so many more Epic collections. Because Curtis has tracked this on his Facebook group, which you guys should all join, by the way. But there's like every year it seems like we're increasing the number of Epic collections that are being printed. So it's like the number of Epic collections are just going like exponentially higher. So trying to figure out which ones are out of print, it's a task. Curtis gave me a base list to work off of this year, and then I went through and kind of like, combed through and it's added some and took some off and whatnot. But it's hard with all the distributors and then the amount of books to look through.
When we used to track it on the Facebook group, track all of the out of print Epic collections, I worked with a person who had access to Diamond stock levels, because
And
Diamond lets you know
shows you.
what's out of stock. It shows you what's out of stock, and it shows you what's about to be out of stock as
Yeah,
well,
so
which
it's
was
like they have
really
5
handy.
books left, which came in handy. Nobody does that
And
now.
But even still, back then there were only like 150 epics, and it still took us a couple of hours to go through the information and collate it to present to the group. And now there are 350 of these epic collections, so that even just that work would have doubled, and and now we can't even access it the same way, because I mean, we still can access diamond stock levels, but it's
Yeah.
not a reliable meter or metric anymore, because stock has been parsed out to so many different places that we just don't have access to.
I was just thinking about this. There's more epics now than there are masterworks.
That is wild.
That's crazy. This
Which
is
it is easier for Marvel to print the epics because the masterworks get the whole, the remasterwork done treatment to it.
Oh, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
still, that is wild.
You want to hear something even wilder? I think I've only shared this with Curtis. I can't remember. I remember when I talked to David the second time on the phone, we were talking about Omnibus and reprints, because it was after I had announced Daredevil, and I'm like, oh man, people are excited. And I was like, do you all ever reprint epics? And he was like, not really, because the overhead charge is so much, it's hard to kind of talk them into reprinting them. And it's amazing where we are now.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting more than 20 reprints where we were then and where we are now. So if you're coming into this for the first time, like you just started collecting them even last year, you have this wonderful chance to play catch up on a lot of these books that could be out of print. So
which goes to show you that how healthy this line is again. If it's not the most profitable type of collection Marvel can put out compared to some of the other ones they do, the fact that they keep reprinting them shows that people keep buying them. Like, it's still a very healthy line, which is great.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Things are so different now. Curtis says monopolies are good. You heard it here. Diamond will also full annual. What?
Is that a Misery reference?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say that there are pros and cons to Diamond, and I think your pockets are feeling the con. The discounts are not what they used to be without Diamond. If you look at the discounts, go ahead, Curtis.
I think if you ask any comic book retailer, especially small comic book retailers, they're going to tell you that this is not a good thing. They would prefer to have a one-stop shop to order. Now, the ordering process takes 3 times as long, because now they have to do a separate ordering thing. For Canadian retailers, now they have to pay custom fees and that kind of stuff on
the taxes,
3 shipments instead
crazy.
of just having it all in one shipment. It's a different ball game. Yes, monopolies in some instances are not great, like Disney buying up everything, but in this case, I think the comic shops would appreciate having it just all in one stop.
Now, none of us work at Diamond. None of us have stock in Diamond. We have just.
Well, I'm not saying Diamond's the one to do it, but they just want it all in one place.
Okay. But my point is like, when we saw the news of Diamond not doing it anymore, people were so excited. They were like, oh my God. And I remember thinking, this is not going to go the way people think it's going to go. And I remember saying that in my Saturday stream, and people were confused by that statement. And I immediately, my mind went to money, because retailers, the more they order in bulk from one distribution, the more discount they got. And like I said, it's got its pros and cons for sure.
Well,
having
I mean, I
different
think people were confused because for so many years it was like Diamond's got a monopoly, Diamond's got a monopoly, and it's almost like this negative thing that people talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely, monopolies aren't the best, but they also come with some perks, especially for big retailers. Or like you said, Curtis, I mean, think about the nightmare pictures that you would see from the first few. I'm going to share the screen here in a second too. From the first few months of PRH taking over single issue sales, or books were coming damaged. I still know retailers to this day that have damages out the wazoo from PRH and also from Diamond, because a lot of them are so used to packing in big pallets. And if you're a smaller retailer, you don't get big pallets, so they don't know exactly how to pack things properly, especially with collected editions and single issue comics. I remember PRH stating, like, we're going to make our own boxes specifically for comic books. And I think people are still waiting on those boxes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember this is like a niche of a niche hobby, and the profit margins are so thin for retailers too. So when there's anything that's going to bump up those, or like cheapen or sorry, lessen those profit margins, it's a big deal. So things like this really do affect them in a big way.
We've seen better discounts on DC stuff with Lunar, though. Have we? I haven't seen a 50% off books on sale at in-stock trades without it going on actual sale, right? Like clearance sale, in a long time. Remember, you used to get every week there would be like a 50% off deal.
They've done a few 50% off like of new books, but they're not omnibuses anymore. They're usually like a smaller collection. They'll do 50% off.
I got you. And nobody's pro monopoly. We're just showing the differences, the pros and cons of everything. It's just the way it was and the way it is.
We're just saying it's not black and white. It's not pro monopoly, anti monopoly. There's some middle ground there.
I think the lack of growth came from Diamond. And I mean, Diamond was also puts out a lot of books that, you know, they did a lot of things wrong and they did a lot of things right too, especially for smaller companies. Like, it was hard for somebody trying to publish their own book and not being featured on Diamond, like the previews. Like, it makes it harder for people to find one.
I will say that's another negative, is that trying to, like, previews used to be such a reliable source for like what books are coming out. And now it's like not so much anymore. Now it's like, well, comicreleases.com, I should give a shout out. That's a great website to that kind of curates those things for us, but I don't know. So that's probably harder too, just for a publisher standpoint, advertising what books are coming out and stuff like.
I just remember when I worked at a comic book shop, we had Diamond and we had Capital. And Capital was usually in charge of like the manga stuff, the more the stuff that wasn't that popular, and then eventually that went away and it became Diamond. Dark Knight's Death Metal was 75 last week. Emperor Joker's 25 this week. They're still doing 50% off for big books. But I'm sorry, let me clarify. Marvel and DC big books. The Marvel books have gone up in price for direct market covers. People email me out of the blue asking me why they're charging more for DM covers, and I have no answer for that. I'm serious. No answer for that. I don't know. Because it's not every online store isn't doing that. I don't know why. Hey, what's up, Richard? How are you, buddy?
Oh, hey, Richard. It's also important to note that Lunar owns In-Stock Trades, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that
umbrella, but I don't really like to talk about that. Surprised the very first Epic release, Iron Man Volume 9, was never reprinted. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. We were talking about how Curtis said that they probably had a big print run of it because it was the first one.
Because they were just guessing.
Yeah.
And it was probably too big, so it lasted a long time.
Seems the real price. Hold on a second. There's a lot of comments here. Seems the real price is $80 for an omnibus, and $150 retail omnibus price is like the Kohl's discount $90 T-shirt for sale on $29.99.
It's an interesting comparison.
I love that you went with Kohl's.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Is it a bad discount? Because that seems
no. They're just saying like the retail price is $150, but really you're paying $80. So it's like Kohl's will mark something up on the tag at $90, but really they're selling it for $29.99. So it's like they make it look like it's on sale, kind of.
Could the DMs? Oh, the DMs always have a smaller print run for the most part, unless it's like Jim Lee doing a direct market, and then they're like, oh, let's buy that one up. Yes, DC's comics are getting better at collected editions, but we need more stuff like Superman. Yeah.
Maybe the DC's finest line, Kenny, will be the one that appeases you.
Goblin's Last Stand and Cosmic Adventures, for crying out loud. Well, let me share what I've got so far, and we can end today's episode. Taylor explaining Coles to Curtis is a magical moment.
So here's the thing. Well, first of all, yeah, I don't know Coles. I don't think we have those in Canada, but we don't get any discounts on these books. Like we have our Canadian retailers don't discount things like this because they have to pay customs fees to get them into the country. So that eats up any profit, the small profit margin that they would get. So getting an omnibus for $80 would be awesome. I think that's a fantastic deal.
Yeah, that's always a trade-off I joke about is like people outside of America, they don't get such big discounts on their comics, but they get healthcare. So
hey, that's my joke. Quit stealing my material, Taylor.
Hey, whoa.
I'm copyrighted that. All right. Let's look at
I took my wife to the emergency room because she had a kidney stone a couple weeks ago, and
how much did that cost you?
And it cost us $0. She got morphine and whatever. Yeah, we were out of there in a few hours and not a penny.
Oh, I got a good comparison. My kid, when she was 3 years old, my youngest, was complaining of belly aches. I've had my appendix taken out. My dad's had his appendix taken out. My mom's had her appendix taken out. And we were trying to do the test at home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be appendicitis. Took her to the emergency room. Her bladder was full. She just had to pee.
Oh no.
Do you know how much my bill was, Curtis?
I'm afraid to ask.
Tell us in terms of how many omnibuses.
This is with health insurance.
How many omnibuses?
$1,000 cash
Holy
money.
cow, that's ridiculous.
To let me know that my kid needs to pee. That's with health insurance. Not the best one, because that was when I was working at the hospital and I had put her under my wife's insurance instead of putting her under mine. I mean, this is a completely different topic. That kind of gives you an idea of like
working at a hospital. You can even,
yeah, because like when you want health insurance for yourself in America, it's usually cheaper, but you want to add your spouse or your kids and make it a family plan. Then you're talking like my wife, half of her income would be done if she added my kids and I. Wow. That's why I have private health insurance, because this is my full-time job. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It ain't no joke, man.
So complaining about your lack of discounts now, Curtis.
I'm sorry.
You can keep
I apologize.
It's apples and oranges, man. It's apples and oranges, brother. You know, pros and cons, like the Diamond Monopoly. All right. So I'm sharing what the responses are, and then we're going to wrap it up. Amazing Spider-Man, I think, still taking the big lead right here. What volume is that? I'm sorry, 7?
We're at 168 votes.
Yeah, they keep coming, and every time somebody votes, finishes voting, it goes back to the start. Let's see here. What else do I see that's kind of sticking out a little bit? What is this? Punisher, Kingpin rules.
All the Punishers are getting some good votes.
And there we go. Thor, the Fall of Asgard, which I think was voted high last year too, in the top 25. X-Men is really, honestly, X-Men, an omnibus format, blows up like crazy. It's not the hottest right now, but like I said, I'm leaving this open for a week and a half, so that can change any minute.
What about X Factor Volume 7?
Is that the one that you sold and you want back?
Yeah.
Let me see. Wolverine isn't getting love either. X Factor Volume. Sorry, man. Not too good, but 8 is doing good. 8's doing.
I already have that one. I'm just kidding.
What? I don't know what to tell you, man. Go make some fake accounts. So I can go and ban them.
Omar is a poo-poo head at gmail.com.
I really do think that Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7 will for sure get it. Be on the list this year. Outside of that, maybe Thor and Punisher Volume 3. X-Men, I'm scratching my head on. These are getting good votes, but I'm surprised
still
not.
Early.
Yeah, I mean, we're still within the first hour. We still have more than a week. You said Friday?
Yes, next Friday, March 15th. Ides of March.
So you got like
You got
7.5
week.
days to vote.
So even if you're watching this live and you got some time to think, you got time to think about it.
Look at your shelf, figure out how you want to prioritize your Epic Collection collecting over the next year.
Yeah, you can try VPN. I was in IT for 20 years, man. In cybersecurity for the last we mama. Dixon, what? Chuck Dixon. Okay. I was like, what? That's pretty good.
I don't know what's better, Norris or the Tom King one. Those are
the Tom King one was so like
and then we're gonna find out
that guy was angry typing.
The next Batman DC's finest collection to be announced will be Tom King's run.
Probably. I didn't see Avengers Fear the Reaper. It should be on there.
It's on there.
Let me double check.
I'm almost certain.
Yeah, volume 23.
Yeah,
it's on there. There you go.
I have to refresh, Ryan.
The comment is in the way.
Whoops. I'll show it to him again. There you go. Look there. Volume 23.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go. Slow down on Excalibur, man. Oh yeah. Let me see. Is there a book you all want me to check? I can check. You want to see Excalibur? Give me a second.
Are you gonna show a little update on the Saturday stream too, like you did the Omnibus one?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Curtis, I don't think we're gonna break 500, buddy. This is on you. This is on
man.
you, Curtis.
What year's your re-election coming up? You might have some competition.
I don't get re-elections. They have to. Someone has to. What do you call it? When you call, someone has to call an election or challenge my authority.
Challenge you. I challenge you, Curtis.
Okay.
Just so I can give it away. It looks like Excalibur 2 is the best choice right now. Not a lot of love for Excalibur. Somebody was asking.
Maybe all the mutant Epic collectors are sleeping right now.
Defenders. New Defenders. Not terrible, but not great.
It looks like I don't know that there's many books that don't have any votes at all, so it seems like they're all pretty spread out.
Miss Marvel. Let me check for Miss Marvel.
Spread out.
Miss Marvel. Not bad. Volume 1 is doing better. And Kingpin Rules is definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's the top Punisher one. That's probably going to finish top 3. I would predict at the end of it all.
It's too early for predictions. Silver Surfer 1. Let me check that.
That's what we're supposed to do. Like when Peter was talking about how this is like the election show where you have like the map out and you're like talk about the different territories and how the votes are laying out.
Then again, we with the Omnibus one, we had to like take out over 100 emails. What was it? Silver Surfer? Was it Silver Surfer? Yeah, Silver Surfer. Sorry. Volume 1, I think it's doing the best out of all the other Silver Surfers.
Inner Demons only has 1 vote, looks like.
Yeah, and somebody was like,
for the fourth choice.
Which of those Wolverines epics are the best, in my opinion, and most needed? Is Volume 1 out of print? Because
no, it's not. But that Volume 1 has that weird spine.
Oh, dude, go vote for Blood and Claws is one of the best Wolverine epics.
Magic Four Nights has that one where one printing the text was right on the spine, but then like the subsequent printings they bumped it down a little bit or something. It drives me nuts on my shelf every time I see it because like the Wolverine text is like bumped down a little bit.
So Blood and Claws is one of my favorites right there. It's out of print. DD Purgatory and Paradise, please. Let's see how is Daredevil doing? Last we looked, it's doing good. Good. I think it's doing probably the best out of the Daredevils, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look.
I know Heart of Darkness looks like it's doing pretty good too.
Yeah, it is, but Purgatory has it beat a little bit. Curtis, what do you want to see on the poll, buddy? What do you think? What are your predictions?
You just said we weren't doing predictions.
I'm asking Curtis. He doesn't count.
I think that I really want the ones that the majority of people are clamoring for, because that's
So what are your okay? So what are your
Wow,
predictions?
spoken like a true politician. What?
people want. No, but
So
I
what are
mean, if that
What are your predictions
the
based on
most
what people have said? Then
if that's gonna make the most people happy, like, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, Generation X has one vote in there in the fifth column, so that's I would love to see
oh,
Generation X
Aaron, I
number
think
one.
that's a done deal, Aaron. I don't think you need to remind people, brother. How are you, man? I was about to text and see how you were doing.
Oh, Aaron
I think
Cobsweb.
that's
Cobsweb?
yeah, that's a sure bet, man. I think that one's gonna get it. Marvel 2-in-1. Let me
The
check.
volume twos, I think the volume two is like fantastic. Thor volume two, Thor volume
Hmm.
two, Hulk volume. Well, that one's volume three, but those ones, those early ones that are holes for people who want to collect from the beginning, I think are nice and important.
What about Killraven? Oh, Killraven's getting some votes. Look at that on the
Marv-
left there.
Yeah, it keeps getting reset every time somebody finishes a vote. But please keep voting. Don't let that stop you.
Yeah, we're up to
Um,
181 now.
It is. Oh my gosh, what was it? Okay, there's Kill Raven, but
is.
they were asking about Marvel 2-in-1. It's
Not-
okay. It's okay right now. Sorry if it was answered already. If we only have 2 books to vote for, should we just leave the other 3 votes blank? I don't want to cast 3 random votes, obviously. You don't have to leave them blank, but you can if you want to.
You can just vote for the other 3. Vote for like your favorite epic collections that you think people should give a shot. Read or something.
Oh, Hulk! Thank you for that, Phil. Do we get a shirt for voting? No, you get a no prize. You get a no prize for voting, and my everlasting thanks. Thank you for voting. Hulk. Let me get over there.
Too far.
Volume 3. Is it volume 3 or volume 4?
Yeah.
Volume three. Volume three.
Ah,
Delete-
dang
oh,
it!
the leader
Somebody
lives.
voted.
We're up to 186. Can we get to 200? Come on, people. 14
You're
more people.
You're a hype man. Volume. God, thank you for voting.
Keep voting.
She keeps resetting. All right. Not the best, Peter. Or Phil. Who was asking? Somebody was asking. Not the best. I'm sorry, Phil. Omar, hermano, how's Star Wars Infinity's doing? Okay, of course that one's on the end. Let's find out.
We're up to 188. Come on, 12 more people.
Where's it? God bless America.
189.
Star Wars Infinities, right? Where is that?
It should be the first Star Wars if I remember correctly.
198. Okay.
I think it's the first one.
I'm moving, and
Yeah, there it is.
Quick, before someone else votes.
4 votes.
Not so good, brother, not so good. Wolverine, Blood and Claws. It's a great one. Thor and Cap. Whew. Let's do Cap. See if we can get there because we're quicker. Justice is Served is doing well, and Justice is Served is doing well. Thor. Let's find out where Thor is.
I think it's that volume 5 is doing well.
Yeah, volume 5. Volume 2 is coming in.
Oh,
really
okay.
strong too. I need to move
Volume
that.
2's going in there.
And 18, the Black Galaxy. Not bad. Let's check on X-Men. 12 is doing okay. The Material Blood and Claws collected in one of his Omnis. Yes, it is collected in Omnibus Volume 3. How much to see Curtis on a poll? What do you...
What kind of poll are we talking about here?
We really need Alpha Flight. Oh, I'm sure that will come.
We're going to do a Tiger Eyes.
Last 10. Keep voting, people. How's Cap
We're
12? Well, we looked at all of Cap. I will remind David about Superior Stratagem because that was supposed to be in January and then they moved it out. Thor 2? I don't think Thor 2 was doing that well.
It was doing this. I think the second best Thor after Volume 5 was Thor 2. As far as the how well they're doing.
Thor 5. Yeah, Thor 2 is second. Yeah.
We're at 195. 5 more votes.
How's X-Men Volume 19 doing? Let's find out. We're almost here. And it is doing not bad. Not as good as Bishop's Crossing, but also not bad. And honestly, we are at the very beginning. This kind of gives you an idea. Don't let this...
Yeah, we still have 7.5 days.
Yeah, don't let this destroy your dreams and hopes that these are not going to happen. Typhoid Omar. Are you calling me Typhoid, Omar? Or you wanted to see the Daredevil Typhoid? Is there Typhoid Daredevil?
I don't think that's on there, is it?
What the hell, Elon?
No, that is not reprinted.
The Epic Marvel Pole Dance featuring Curtis.
Whoa.
Yes. Oh, nobody's asked that yet. How are we doing? How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm having a blast. 2 more votes away from 200.
Yeah, you're like all about getting people to vote. Curtis,
this is great. Having a good time.
You're excited. This is cute there, Taylor. I'm doing good. I got a lot more reading to do, and then I got a film today, and I got to watch 2 more Oscar movies because Amanda and I have an Oscar show sometime. I think Friday's when we're gonna do it. So
I've been reading this today. For anybody curious, what I'm
Norse
reading.
mythology. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it because I've been reading Thor's one of the characters I'm reading a bunch this year, so it's kind of cool to see a different side of the Norse mythology.
Somebody already posted the poll on Reddit. Oh, good. Spread the word. Let people vote.
200.
Yes. Which Oscar movies haven't you seen yet? Oh, I need to watch Past Lives, and that's it. I've caught up thanks to my buddy James for letting me know what's streaming where. So I appreciate that, buddy. Him and Torsten.
We got to 200 votes.
Doing a poll for most wanted new epics. I don't think so because they, unlike Omnis, they kind of have an idea of their schedule, when they're coming out. So that definitely would be throwing a wrench in there. Like, these are the ones people want.
I mean, that's a cool thing.
They're gonna roll their eyes and be like, of course we know people want Amazing Spider-Man 16. That's why we're waiting until 2028 to release it.
That's one of the great things about the Epic line in general, is that they've mapped out the entire line ahead of time, which I think is one of the hardworking parts of it, is like the fact that they mapped out the entirety thing, which volume is going to get which issues and whatnot. I think if we were to do a most wanted thing, it'd be like most wanted new lines, maybe new lines of epics. Just an idea.
Probably. And it better. And I mean, why even take a poll when you know New Warriors is going to win?
That's one that I want. I will say that New Warriors in Epic.
That's coming. That's coming. It's been coming for 3 years now. Avengers 23, Fear of the Reaper's doing really well. Under Siege is doing good. All right. For the last time, yeah, that's Spidey. Okay. So Omnis and Epics all day, every death rally. That's how we start fights.
Like that guy out.
Start fights.
You can't finish the stream with that.
I'm glad you're doing well, Aaron. It's good to see you, buddy. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today for this live kickoff. This was Taylor's idea, so you all can blame him if you didn't like it. If you liked it, you all can praise him.
Yes.
Because I do these when I do these every year, literally like reading what's out of print, and it's kind of boring. This gets us to interact. This actually got us to put in a book in there because it was left out. So I don't know. I had a lot of fun, and definitely a lot more fun than the Marvel Omnibus reprint poll because I was miserably sick that day. So yeah.
So what is that? Epics are better than more omnibuses? Then is that what you're saying?
What's that? No, they're placeholders. I've always called Epic Collections placeholders. Gen X back to school. Is that out of print?
Yeah, that was the only Gen X one on there. It only had like one vote, I think. Last we looked.
Joe, it's always good to see you, buddy. Sorry, Omar. I meant Wolverine Tooth and Claws. That's stuff in the Omnibus. What Epic volume?
I think that's like volume 8 or 9. So
no, it's Tooth and Claw. Wait, is that the?
It's the Bone Claws era.
Yeah.
What issues are in that?
That's in the upcoming one. That's in volume 5. That hasn't come out yet.
Wolverine 101 to 109 plus
is
a
that
bunch
volume
of
5,
miniseries.
Omar?
No, that would be volume 6.
Oh, okay.
So we're a little bit from that.
So that's one of the placeholders.
This is off topic, but it's all Claremont's X-Men collected in omnibus format, with the exception of X-Men Forever. Yes, because we're getting X-Men The End in the Marvel The End omnibus, which is awesome. Extreme X-Men's coming out, not the retro series like Extreme X-Men, the mini series, but the main stuff has been collected in omnibus format with one big exception, and that is the reloaded era of Uncanny X-Men, which is you kick off that era with the X-Men playing baseball in the backyard, man. You already had me in. It's Alan Davis and Chris Claremont coming back to the X-Men, and House of M happened during that era. It is
his initial 17-year run though is collected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. In between Omnibus and oversized hardcovers. Yes. And if you want to see what that looks like, I have a video with the reading order of them. Omar, is that Psylocke on the right? Oh yeah, I forgot that was there. Whoops. That is Psylocke. Yes. She is really good looking in that picture. One of my viewers, Renee, sent me that. It's a Brazilian artist. It's like his art book. Whoa, there's some stuff in there I can't show. That's just part of the cover. The other part is on the other side. Can we finish the Defenders at least? Maybe one day.
We're close. We only need 3, 4, and 5, right? For the epics.
The Six-Fingered Hand is my all-time favorite story. Got my #1 vote. Was Armor Wars storyline collected in epics yet? It's Stark Wars, isn't it? Curtis.
Yes, that's Stark Wars.
Yeah, I think it's just labeled as Armor Wars, and that's what everybody calls it. But the real story is called Stark Wars. You knew an overview of that Renee book.
Curtis, your hoodie is awesome. Is that?
Oh man,
comics even.
Don Rosa would love you for that.
Where'd you get that hoodie?
H&M, believe it or not.
Oh man,
what?
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. But that is it, everybody. I just want to thank my co-host for joining me. And where can people find you when you're not hanging out over here?
You can find me over at Taylor Talks Comics on YouTube. I'm also on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and all that stuff too. And also, if you interact with the Near Mint Edition social media accounts, I'm running those as well, so you can interact with me over there.
And there is his
link
James. Right
please,
there.
Please
so thank
subscribe.
you all. Smash that like button on the way out. And Curtis, what about you, buddy? Where are you working, and where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere Epic Collection related, like on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. James is putting all of those links in the chat there. Thanks a lot, James. Yeah, I work for Clover Press, and we are doing a Kickstarter currently to reprint a very old Tim Sale book from 1991 called Billy 99. And we're getting it was originally in black and white. We're getting it newly colored by Jose Villarrubia.
Ooh.
And it's at I think we just hit 30,000 on the Kickstarter. So it's currently running for another week.
I love that Jose Villarrubia is becoming like one of the colorists / color restoration guys. He's super awesome.
He's very good at his job, and the restoration he's doing on the Richard Corbin books is phenomenal. It's just
I cannot wait.
Incredible.
We're gonna have all of Din collected by the end of this year. I'm so excited for that.
Unless there's a fire at the printer again, but yeah, hopefully. Okay, and I'm the Uncanny Omar. I'm here every day, including tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. I have a live stream on Saturday. Thank you all so much for joining us. Check cheapgraphicnovels.com out. They're our sponsor here in America. And tell them Near Mint Condition sent you their way for free shipping on your next order after your first one. Go and vote. Make you feel good about yourself.
Make your voices heard.
That's it, everybody. I'll be reading the results on Wednesday, March 20th. But you have until March 15th at end of day, midnight, to vote. And I will be posting a short later today on how to vote in case people missed it. But go and spread the word. And that's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe. Much love.